Good morning, my dear friends. Happy Friday, TGIF, and all that other stuff. It's a feel-good Friday. It's a good day. I don't know what the title is yet, but you've read it. Don't know how you get by doing that stuff. But I've had an interesting couple of days, and this is me thanking all of you. I don't know how else to put it except that there has been, I think some of you noticed my mood shift, my difficult time that I was going through, and many of you came to the forefront just trying to help me out. And folks, there's two reasons I do this channel. The main reason I did this channel was my own doctor's recommendation that I need something. I didn't want to speak with psychiatrists and psychologists, but I wanted to get out of my head. And he said, you maybe need to do some kind of blog or vlog, or write a book or a novel or a short story, or expose yourself literally or creatively. That was a hard one. So I started, and I certainly have struggled with where I fit in this vlogging universe until a few years ago, when it really started to settle that I wasn't cannabis coaching. I wasn't really a cannabis channel. I am a part of a rather massive group therapy experiment. We help each other. And that is where I feel we are. That is where I feel this channel has gone. I very often, my talk on depression has helped a few people. JC, Angie, you spoke of it, Jonathan Taylor. And Jonathan, you are the reason today is being talked about, because Jonathan Taylor passed me on a fellow Canadian speaking about spirituality and the plant. I'm going to put that below, but that's what we're going to talk about today. I do recommend at least the first half of this video. It is a 1-hour video, and I found myself kind of drifting halfway through it, and found the first half. Stephen Gray speaks about how he has developed, working with quite a few other people, a book on the spirituality of cannabis. I hope to get that book. I haven't read it, but he speaks of it, and he crams it all down into about a 25-minute talk about how, although spirituality and LSD, spirituality and ayahuasca, DMT, spirituality in the psychedelic sense, has been spoken to at length, ad nauseum almost. But most people don't. They take cannabis as this calmer, milder, gentler plant that doesn't take you into those realms of escapism and spiritual healing. So, before we get too far, I want to say, I know a lot of you are not religious. I am not religious. One day, I think I spoke about it before, but one day I will go in depth as to what my religious or spiritual beliefs are. But in a nutshell, I don't believe in the dogma of religion. I respect it. I understand its place in this universe and in our lives. I think it has done well for the world over time, has helped us, but I have trouble with some of the... It's just like government. I don't like government. I don't like religion. I don't like things that tell us how we should act, because we are all different. But it helps some people find their path. It helps some people continue to have strength sometimes, because my spirituality is a little different. Do I believe in God? Yes. A God, or multiple gods, or multiple universes. When you start bringing it beyond do you believe, then I have trouble. I can't articulate it, and that's why I say I'm not religious. I am spiritual. I do believe there is an overlying power or sense or something that controls this universe and our place in it. It can't be all chaos, but then maybe it can be. That's the problem. I've studied chaos theory, and it seems everything I study, I take in and I become a part of it until I find something new. And I love expansion. It's just I have to let go of a few things that I learned. I have taken Bible study in 4 different religions and have learned very, very in-depthly, all the way down to Orthodox Russian Christianity. So, and yes, I'm baptized in Orthodox Russian Christianity. So let's get off that. I just want to say, you guys can thumb up, you can thumb down, do whatever you want. Or don't watch if you don't want to. But I'm not going to go into God. I'm going to go into the spirit world, the belief, the healing, spiritual healing. And it means different to me than it means to this guy. So, again, watch this video. Maybe watch it before you see the rest of this. Pause this. Go watch the video. Come back. Do it however you feel. But Stephen Gray talks about how cannabis can be used in the same way as ayahuasca and psilocybin and LSD. Or in conjunction with, if you watch even further. I will tell you that he seems to have a very severe lack of knowledge of the chemistry of the plant, and seems to believe in it having qualities that can't be explained by chemistry, yet he doesn't understand the chemistry of the plant. That's very, very indicative of how he speaks about it. But that's his position, and that's where he comes from. And over time, I'm sure he'll learn more. He didn't even know about CBN or CBC or CBG. So those parts, that's where I started, am I going to watch the rest of this? But I want to say, back to it, Jonathan Taylor, this came at the very right time. And I'm trying to organize this. I did make myself some notes, but I'm trying to organize it in my own mind. It's not organized well here. Is as to what do I attack first. And I think what I got to attack first is he said right at the beginning, it's very important to know that many biologists and doctors agree with this statement, that when you first get high on cannabis, what happens is a total system symbiotic, I'm looking for that word, homeostasis. A systematic homeostasis of your whole body. As soon as you breathe it in and your lungs notice the THC coming into the body, your body notices it, and the heartbeat immediately will raise for a little bit, pumping extra blood throughout your body. And because of the deep breath, you also get extra blood pumping through your body. And what does it do? It supercharges you. It prepares you for the next step. That's an important point. You've just been supercharged. Now, he explains this actually even explains a fair amount of why sometimes I get green out from just a few tokes. Because somebody in the audience said, "Oh, that's an overdose." No, an overdose is not that. And he explained that perhaps, and I like how he said it, perhaps, that's because what pot does is enable you, you're supercharged and you're enabled to then direct how you use that supercharge of your body. If your plan, you should have a plan when you're going to have some cannabis. I don't have any in front of me. If you're going to have some cannabis, you should have a plan on what is the reason you're having it for. Is it medical? Is it spiritual? Is it getting calm? Is it to go to sleep? Is it to have the energy to be creative? Have that plan in mind. Then when you toke work on that plan, cannabis will generate a better ability to get through that plan. And therein lays the rub of the green out. Because if you are looking at being nervous, if you do not have a plan, and if you have other outside sources kind of eating at you, then those few tokes will supercharge your body into a sense of despair. It can happen. And that really, really explains my greenouts, because I very seldom have them. I've had maybe 5 or 6 in my life, but they've all been in very, very nervous and difficult situations where I was worried it would have that effect, and then it does. That was one piece. So there was a piece of a puzzle that seems to have been placed in the right place for me now. But beyond that was this idea. I had always said, I've got a couple of videos, and they're old, where I spoke about how cannabis connects you, and this was totally from my brain, not from anything I read. Cannabis gives you the ability, if you really work at it, to look inside yourself and direct your pain and be in contact with your pain. It's not really communication, but it's contact. You can adjust it, you can make it work better, that kind of thing. And Stephen Gray has brought me to understanding that I was onto something there, because he says you can use it to fully encompass your meditation, if you're looking for some kind of spiritual guide or spiritual healing, or as he says, that's not what his book is about, but you can direct it to be extra creative, extra thoughtful, extra organized, or extra sleepy. And yes, the chemicals of the plant, he only just recently learned about terpenes, and so he talked rather like a newbie about that, but excited about it, but new things that he needs to learn and incorporate into his own thoughts. But this came at the right time, because I've been going through my own difficulties in my mind. I've been going, this is a time of year, it's a memory of my mom passing, it's stress of 11 kids and grandkids all having their birthdays before Christmas, it's Christmas coming, it's tax season not too far away, all those things that trigger me into despair. And I can't seem to focus on the day, the moment. So I watched this, and halfway through it, I decided, you know what? I haven't meditated in a very long time. And he suggested, if you're really wanting some spiritual healing, some mental healing, some calmness, you need to start your cannabis session maybe with a heavy, heavy hit, especially if you're going to go into the spirituality. You got to know if you can handle a big hit, but the old hippie can. So yesterday, after watching this for a while, I went into my room where I've got my stuff, and I had a big hit. I believe it was Frankenstein, BHO. Frankenstein. Had a couple of big hits, and then I turned off the lights, and I got myself comfortable. I got myself into my meditation sit, cross-legged on my bed, a little pillow to support my lower back, and just got into meditating. And it took a little bit, but I felt the drug starting to take effect. Then I felt my own bloodstream starting to flow better, and I had horrible migraine yesterday for 2-3 days, and it was really topping up yesterday, and very, very bad neck pain. So I concentrated, and he kept saying, he says in this speech that when you're trying to clear your mind, don't give up, because thoughts come in, because thoughts will, and thoughts do. As thoughts come in, you push them away and accept the fact that you just thought when you aren't supposed to. And another one will come and you push it away. And it took me a little bit. And the first time I wasn't fully successful. I got into a bit of a trance, and felt better. But I waited an hour and I tried again. And this time. And what I found with the first one was I really did kind of get into a trance, but because my neck was hurting so bad, it totally jammed. Like when I kind of came to, I can't move my neck, and I had to crack, 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 crack. And that really hurts. So I did it again. I went back into my room an hour and a half later, lights off, but this time I put a pillow behind me and rested against the back of the bed. I don't want to sleep during meditation. That kind of kills it. But I got more comfortable. And I want to tell y'all, there is a such thing as guided meditation, and that's what I use when I feel I can't get into it. But the guiding is interrupting my ability to clear the mind. So I find no music, no background, no noise, no lights, eyes closed, very relaxed. And I just think about my breathing in and out. And then when I feel thoughts come in, I recognize them and I let them go. And I go back to my breathing. I used to count it. I don't count it anymore. I just breathe. And I just let my breathing happen. Let it be natural. I don't take extra breaths. I don't count them. I don't have a mantra. I just let things happen. And as I feel things letting go, I let my mind think internally. And I start looking for areas of stress, and almost always a place where I have a lot of stress is around my jaw, tightening of the jaw. And I let that go. Then I let the muscles in my neck go. And then I let my hands and shoulders just fall. And sooner or later, I'm connected to my body, and I'm feeling the flow of my blood, and I'm directing the white blood cells to my neck and to my hands where my pain is most. And I think I was in there 25 minutes, and it felt like 3. And when I opened my eyes, I had no pain. The neck pain was gone. The headache was gone. And I had this smile that wasn't faking it till I make it. It was there. It was real. So, wow, I've really gotten long in the tooth on this one. But it was important to me. This is a good video. It is good to try to get the understanding that that cannabis is an early entry into those things. And I did feel like I was in a different world, a different dimension while I was in that trance, for lack of a better word. So, friends, I don't know what you think about this, but I know it really helped me, and it's going to set me back on track. I had forgotten about meditation. Meditation is so important in my life, and I'm going to bring it back in and get through day by day and smile. And remember, pass that smile on, because you always have another. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you've given it the thumbs up. I hope you watch some more. And, my friends, be kind to one another.